Like any modern web app, Zapier is constantly updating their product to make sure they keep up with the changing demands of their user base. In this past year alone, we've seen multiple overhauls of Zapier's visual layout. Even in the months since we posted the updated beginner's guide in March of 2024, Zapier's taken on a new coat of paint and rearranged some important items. In this video, I want to quickly show you the 3 most important changes that you should know about as a no-code builder. I'm also going to explain why, in spite of these updates, you can still use our beginner's guide and other tutorials from the same time period if you're just picking up Zapier for the first time right now. Let's get started. We'll begin with a quick before and after of Zapier's automation builder. Here's the old Zapier UI of the ancient distant past of March 2024, and here's today's Zapier. In general, you can probably see the biggest changes here are just some surface level aesthetic changes. There's the new color scheme and a bunch of other visual tweaks, but I'm not going to go over all of that right now. Instead, I'm going to focus on the 3 most important functional changes. None of these amount to huge changes for Zapier users, but it's definitely good to be aware of them if you're just getting started and exploring tutorials from our channel or looking at Zapier help docs that are about a year old. You've still got the Zap canvas in the central part of the screen with a simple summary of all your automated steps. And when you click on any of those steps, a menu pops up on the right where you can configure it. Here's where we'll see our first key difference. For a long time, Zapier has divided each step into 4 tabs: App and Event, Account, Trigger, and Test. And of course, that Trigger tab would be replaced with Action if the step was an action. Now, there are just 3 tabs: Setup, Configure, and Test. With this layout, you can choose your event and sign into an account in the same Setup tab. Authorization works the exact same way as before, it's just in a slightly different place. This next change is, in my opinion, the most important one. It relates to inserting dynamic data into your Zaps. Before, a window including all of the data retrieved by previous steps in your automation would automatically pop up whenever you selected an input field. Now, you'll need to enter a quick command to access dynamic data. You can either type / directly into the field, or you can click on the plus button. Either one will pull up a list of your Zap's available dynamic data. If you don't see the plus button in a field where you expected to use dynamic data, then it probably means that the field is set to static. That means it's configured to only accept inputs from a preset list of options. However, there's an easy way to change static fields to custom fields that will accept variables. Just click on the 3 dots next to the field and choose Custom. Now, you can either use the / or click on the plus button to enter dynamic data. Finally, let's take a look at one more key change to the Zap Builder UI, the location of tooltips. Previously, Zapier included useful help text under each field to let you know what data you needed to provide or what each option in a list would do. This help text was often a little long and frequently needed to be truncated. In that case, you would have to click on More to see the full text. Now, with the new Zapier UI, there's no help text immediately visible. But it's not gone. They'll still give us a hand in setting up our Zaps. To see help text in the new Zapier UI, just click on the underlined title of each field. Then, a tooltip will pop up in its own little window. And just note that you do have to click on each title to see the help text. It won't appear on a mouse over. Those are all the changes I want to go over in the main Zap Builder, but before wrapping up this video, I want to also note that the settings menu on the left-hand side has been substantially overhauled as well. It won't change how you build Zaps initially, but it may change how you configure them after they've been built. I'm not going to cover this update right now though, because I've already made a separate video where you can learn all about these settings and how to use them. You can find that video on your screen now or in the resources board linked in this video's description. The only thing that's constant in life is change, and that certainly applies to no-code automation too. Zapier looks quite a bit different today than it did less than a year ago, and I'm sure this video will be outdated within a year as well. But for now at least, Zapier still works in largely the same way. You'll just need to keep an eye out for a couple of things that have moved around. If you enjoyed this video, prove you're human, like and subscribe for more automation tips every week. If you'd like to learn more about workflow design, follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook, and you can find all of our content on our website at xray.tech. You can find all those links in the XRay Workflow resources board down below, and as always, find your focus and stay in flow.